How you doing? Appreciate you for coming on through and checking me out. Obviously, if you haven't checked out any previous content, you can do so after this one. But would love for you to drop a like, give a follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a review if you're on the audio side. So with this one, I want to talk about the Red Sox. We're at the All-Star break. It's kind of a good time to look back on the, I guess, unofficial first half, even though they've played basically 100 games, and kind of see what's been going on. Like my overall question with this team is, where has this been? So if you haven't been paying attention, the Red Sox are on a 10-game winning streak going into the break. They've swept their last 3 series. I know what you're saying. They swept the Nationals, they swept the Rockies, so what? And that's fine. But the state they were in when those 2 series came up, the fact that they did sweep them is still an accomplishment for me. Because this is a team that all season has underperformed. Well, let's be honest, right? Now, those two aside, they did just sweep the Tampa Bay Rays. 4-game set as the last series before the break. And you know the history with the Red Sox and the Rays. They don't normally sweep the Rays like that. So I'm giving them full credit for this 10-game streak. Look, before they were below 500, they seemingly were like, I don't know, losing grips on, the wild card, much less the division. And that was after they just swept the Yankees. Then you had the Devers trade. They lose 2 out of 3 to the Giants, and it was like, oh, here we go again. So I, I mean, I would love to know from you all, like, if you're buying into this Red Sox team or not. But, leave that in the comments. So where they are currently, they're now 53 and 45. I believe season high 8 games above 500. Like I said, before this, they were barely holding on to the wild card chase. But now they are the second wild card team. And they're only a game behind the Yankees, who are the first wild card. And like I said before, they were basically non-existent in the division race. Well, that's all changed as well, because now they're only 3 games back of the Blue Jays, who have been a kind of a surprise this season, atop the AL East. And the fact that they are in this, because when you look at the AL East, I believe they're the only division in the league with 4 50-win teams going into the break. Blue Jays, obviously, Yankees, Red Sox, and the Rays all have 50+ wins. So that kind of lets you know how tightly contested this division is going to be going into the second half of the season. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But like I said, where was this team all season? It's like the further you get away from the Raffy Devers trade, the more impact it's having. And I guess you're starting to see why the team felt probably compelled to do it when they did. Because remember, they were just coming off of that Yankees sweep, and they traded him. And a lot of people are like, what? What are they doing? He's gone off to San Francisco. He's kind of struggling again out there. Remember his introductory press conference? He's talking about he'll play wherever the team needs him. They have that story about Will Clark showing up to, teach him first base. Devers not showing up. So kind of the drama or whatever around Devers has followed him out in San Francisco. We'll see how that ends up for him. Look, I'm not somebody who's going to sit here and bash Devers like I didn't like Devers on the Red Sox. I'm just pointing out what's going on with him out in San Francisco. But looking more at the team, obviously, since he's gone, he's been moved out. It just seems like the energy around this team is different. The dugout The play on the field just has been ratcheted up. The Even in the environment in Fenway Park just seems like it's gone to a different level with kind of the uneasiness surrounding Devers being gone. And look, sometimes teams get better with subtraction. And this span right now, with the team playing as it is, that's what seems like is going on in Boston. Gone are the talks of, getting rid of Cora. Now Cora seems like a genius again. Gone is the conversations about Breslow and his ineptitude or whatever. So there's a lot of good vibes around this team, and I'm loving it. But I want to touch on some players that have had a hand in this kind of turnaround. I gotta start with Cedon Rafaela, who, like, the more I think about it, might just be my favorite player on this team. And look, this is a name that actually I'm not going to go there. I'm about to do like a Mookie Betts thing. I'm not going to go there. Um, so Rafaela, he was mired in his own struggles. He was seen as a guy that maybe just wasn't going to cut it. I think the problem was we were starting to look at Rafaela as maybe a Jackie Bradley Jr. type. And once again, I was actually a fan of Jackie Bradley Jr., but I understood the frustrations. Rafaela, great in the field, would like anger you at the plate. That's different now. And reportedly, Bregman, like, approached him and told him something about his hands, and now he's must watch TV at the plate in Rafaela. So Rafaela is hitting 271, 313 on base, 475 slugging, 13 home runs, 46 RBIs, 13 stolen bases. All good numbers. I think higher than his career averages. But if you look at his last 20 games, he's hitting 324. He's got 7 home runs and 20 RBIs in that span. That's a decent size to look at. So it seems like Rafaela has kind of turned the corner while still playing great defense in center. Alex Cora did talk about the fact that, because we have seen Rafaela at second base sometimes, Cora's basically letting us know, and this was kind of something that we heard during the Devers stuff. When they were talking about why the Devers trade happened, they talked about flexibility with the lineup. Because remember, Devers was at third. They brought in Bregman. Devers was upset about it. That's what all the uneasiness around the team was coming from, obviously from spring training. Then it was, hey, we need a first baseman. Devers, go play first. No. At that point, he told himself he was a DH. But Devers obviously was a bat you needed in the lineup, but he's blocking DH. Now with that gone, Cora can use the DH strategically, depending on who might need a rest from the field or pitcher on the mound or whatever. And now the added flexibility, and this one was, I guess, opened up when Campbell was demoted. David Hamilton was sent down as well. Rafael is a guy who is like a utility guy. He can play in the outfield. He can play some infield. So now second base is open if you want to put Rafaela there to get Duran, Anthony, and Abreu in the outfield together. So Rafael's impact is even more in the field is his willingness to kind of play wherever he's needed. So you'll see Rafaela kind of bouncing between center and second base. So he's going to do the Betts thing. Betts does that with the Dodgers. He'll play kind of wherever there's an opening. Roman Anthony is another guy that I got to give some credit to. When he first came up, he was the prized prospect down at AAA, but he struggled out of the gate. For a while, he was hitting like something. But now, Roman Anthony is up to 264, 371 on base percentage. Like, even though he was struggling in terms of getting hits, he was getting on base through walks or whatever, and 406 slugging. Once again, I looked at his last 20 games. He's hitting 329, and he has good plate coverage. He's got a good eye. We've seen him take the ball the other way, which obviously works in his favor at Fenway. And I'm like, okay, like this is the guy that we heard all of the, I guess, hoopla about in the minors, and that's where the flexibility comes in as well, because Roman Anthony has kind of proven himself to be a guy that needs to be in the lineup most days. So we've seen Anthony out and right when Abreu's not out there. We've seen Anthony, taking some work in left up against the wall. Because I believe, well, obviously, Abreu is the metric wise like better outfielder, so you'd want Abreu in the much larger space of right. But if you're gonna play left in front of the wall, you got to know how to play the caroms off the wall. So it's good to see Anthony out there getting work, and Roman Anthony will also probably play some DH on some days. Where you also have like Yoshida, who's in the mix there. I think Mayer's played a little DH. Like this is a like Cora, I guess Breslow. Like this is their dream right now. Having guys who they can move around, and haven't heard a peep out of any of them while being used at different spots. That was another thing with Devers that turned off some fans, his inability to be flexible. So yeah, that's something like the energy around this team is just so much better right now. And then I can't pass up a moment to talk about Trevor Story. Story's gone from a guy that I think 95% of Red Sox fans wanted gone at the end of the month to how do you move him? Like he is locked down shortstop. He's playing great defense. We saw the play against the Rays when he went to his right, deep in the hole, and then did the little jump. I guess the Jeter is what they call it. The jump throw to first, threw it on a line in the air. Remember, there was like questions about Trevor Story's arm strength. He showed it off on that play, and you just see a bounce in his step, like he is feeling good right now. But I think another part to Trevor Story's game that's been so important, he's cut down on the strikeouts a lot. His struggles early in the season, he would go up to the plate and was just striking out way too much. And when you're doing that, you have like no impact on winning, obviously. Because if you strike out, nothing good comes from that. So he's getting more barrels on the ball, which has led to his average going up. He's hit more home runs, all that. His numbers are now up to 257, 298 on base. You'd like to see that up a little higher. Before 93 slugging, pretty good. Looked at his last 20 games as well. He's in 342 with 5 homers and 20 RBIs. So he is definitely on one of those hot streaks right now. And this has kind of been the thing with him. When he's got it going, he's really good. But I think this is a little different because even early in the season, he'd have like little streaks where he would hit the ball really well, but it seemed like he was still striking out. He's not doing that now. So I think Story is going to be a big part of where this season goes after the break. But focused on some of the hitting, even though there's more guys I get to watch, Jaron Duran and others. Got to look at the pitching as well, because the pitching has improved to a large degree, which has helped in the recent good play. Crochet, we already knew about. He's a Cy Young candidate. He's 10-4, 2.23 ERA, 160 strikeouts, which I believe leads the league in 20 starts. So he's averaging like 8 Ks a start. Really good numbers. Chapman, I think everybody knows. When he comes in the game, he's locking stuff down. He's got 17 saves, 58 strikeouts and 41 appearances, and razor thin 1.18 ERA. Chapman might get some Cy Young consideration as well. We know it's tough for closers to get it, but you'll get some votes, right? Lucas Giolito. I did not see this coming. And when I tell you his numbers, you might be surprised how well he's actually done this season. He's made 13 starts. Remember, he started the season hurt, but he's 6-1, 3.36 ERA. You'll take that. That's middle rotation type of guy. Brian Bayo, got to shout him out. I think he's another guy. When you hear his numbers, you might be surprised because he's had some starts where it's been really rough. But he's actually 6-3 in his 16 starts with a 3.14 ERA. And he's been really good his last couple of starts, and it seems like he's really starting to figure it out. I think with Giolito, the thing that's been part of his ascension, I feel like he's using his fastball more. I think with Bayo, he's taken a little off his changeup because it seemed like when he was struggling, his changeup was at like 92 miles an hour, with his fastball at like 96, and his sinker was like 96 as well. They're all kind of similar, but now his changeup, at least in his last start, his changeup was hovering around like 88, which I think is what it needs to be. He needed like that bigger gap in the speed to get more swing and miss. And right now he's a guy with his four seam, his sinker, his cutter, and his changeup working really well right now. So that's something that you're hoping continues in the second half, because I would not be shocked. I mean, I don't know if it's mathematically possible, but if he keeps this up, like Bayo could be like a sub-3 kind of pitcher, which is kind of crazy to think about. Like, I feel like he'd be kind of realizing the potential that we've seen in him. So Crochet, Giolito, Bayo are three like surefire starters that you have in your rotation right now, where pitching has been a problem all season. Those three seem like rocks in the rotation. Now, Bueller's the one that's been the most frustrating all season, besides Houck, but Houck's injured, although I wonder when he comes back. Buehler, at least his last two starts, has picked up his play as well. Over 11 innings, he's getting up 5 earned, which you're probably like, I mean, that's not great. But his season stats, 6.12 ERA. So you'll take the progress where you can get it with Buehler. But even then, that Buehler as a fourth guy, sure, as long as he continues the trend. Now, Dobbins going down does stink, because Dobbins was a guy who would give you like 5 legit innings and keep you in a game, but he tore his ACL, covering first base, landed kind of awkwardly. He's out for the year. And I think when we get to the deadline, there's probably going to be some inquiry from the Red Sox, maybe on the back end of the rotation guy. But I think they're in a position now where everyday starters, they probably won't look to move any of them. Maybe they move like a minor leaguer to get some arm or something like that. I think that's where the Red Sox are right now. Whereas before this winning streak, we were looking at guys on the actual team to move out and bring in something. So that's where the Red Sox are right now. Like I said, you let me know if you're believing in this team. Like me, I'm all in with them. Like I've been loving what I'm seeing. I'm loving the approaches. I'm loving the pitching. Like Bayo and Rafael playing well right now make me the happiest, because those are the two that I wanted to root for the most. Two young guys who have so much potential, and now we're seeing it. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and just bash Devers for the whole season, but it seems like it was the right thing to do. The timing might have been weird, but look where we are right now. So, like I said, let me know what you think about this Red Sox team. Are you buying in? You know, coming out of the break, they have a series against the Cubs, which is going to probably tell us a lot as well. The Cubs are playing really well, leading the NL Central. But they have the Cubs, the Phillies, and the Dodgers. 3 really good teams in the National League. if the Red Sox can keep this up, obviously probably not, keep the winning streak and sweep those 3 series, but I'm just saying, like even if they go like 500 against those 3 teams, I feel like you would still feel enthusiastic about where this team is. So, um, yeah, let me know what you think. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for tuning in. And as I said, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share, all that good stuff. Make sure you're checking out the rest of the stuff on the channel. And make sure you're there when I do go live, because I like the interaction with you all. And so make sure you have notifications on, or whatever on the platform. So when I do go live, you can enter the chat, we can talk, have some fun. So with that, I'll let you enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. God bless. I'm out of here. All right. Bye.